Let me tell you something that might shock you. Women are not attracted to the kind of men you think. Not the loudest ones. Not the funniest ones. Not the ones showing off their cars, bodies, or money. Those men may capture attention. But they don't earn real desire. They don't earn true respect. Because what truly pulls a younger woman in is not what you give. It's what you don't. The silence. The calm. The confidence in restraint. And very few men understand this. 1. Presence over performance. When you're speaking and you notice she stops scanning the room, her eyes beginning to rest on you longer than before, it's rarely because your story suddenly became fascinating. More often, it's because your state has changed. People feel presence before they evaluate content. A still mind creates a sense of groundedness. A distracted mind releases subtle instability. You can observe this in Keanu Reeves' interviews. He doesn't try to dominate space. He doesn't try to impress. He simply listens. Still. Slow. Complete. The person across from him naturally slows down. Their voice softens. Their energy lowers. Reeves once said, "Simple attention can be an act of respect." When you see someone gradually adjusting their speaking rhythm to match yours, understand that stillness is influencing the interaction. And what matters in that moment is not adding more performance. It's remaining fully there. 2. Emotional memory is what lingers. When the meeting ends and she texts, "I felt really comfortable around you today." Don't rush to dismiss it as politeness. The human brain encodes memory through emotion, not information. An ordinary conversation rarely leaves a deep imprint. But an emotional state does. Steve Jobs once said, "People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." You may not have said anything extraordinary. But if she felt lighter, calmer, less tense, you became an experience of ease in her memory. And people naturally return to what feels good. When you notice she begins extending conversations the next time, recognize what's happening. She is trying to revisit a feeling. There is no need to become more entertaining. Only maintain that quality of presence. 3. Calm energy creates psychological safety. When you remain composed, subtle shifts appear. Her shoulders relax. Her voice softens. Her expressions become more natural. This is not strategy. This is biology. Nervous systems synchronize with the most stable energy in the environment. In tense debates, Barack Obama often maintains a slow, measured cadence. No rushed reactions. No emotional escalation. The room gradually settles. Obama once said, "Nothing is more powerful than calm confidence." When you notice she becomes more open, more authentic, understand the effect of steadiness. And the wisest move is simple. Protect that calm. Do not suddenly increase intensity. 4. Silence creates depth. When a pause appears and she doesn't show discomfort, that is a meaningful signal. Most people fear silence because it exposes internal unease. But when you remain relaxed within it, silence transforms. It carries tension, awareness, nonverbal connection. FBI negotiators use strategic silence. Not to pressure, but to allow emotions and thoughts to surface naturally. Morgan Freeman once said, "Silence carries its own voice." If her gaze holds during quiet moments, don't break the space out of habit. A few seconds of stillness often creates depth words cannot. 5. Attraction lives in the unspoken. When she begins wondering about you, the real movement is no longer verbal. It's internal. Humans are drawn to what feels unresolved. To signals not fully explained. Interest that is sensed but not confirmed creates a subtle psychological tension. The brain resists perceptual gaps. It searches for meaning. And when clarity is incomplete, attention deepens. She replays your gaze, your tone, your pauses. The Zeigarnik effect explains this. Unfinished experiences linger longer in memory. Tom Ford once said, "Mystery is the most seductive thing." When you notice she studies you more closely, reading the smallest behaviors, understand the role of controlled ambiguity. The intelligent response is not rushing to define everything. Attraction often thrives between certainty and uncertainty. 6. Rhythm sustains emotional engagement. When interactions avoid emotional flatness, feelings begin to move. Movement creates vitality. Vitality prevents monotony. Closer, then space. Warmth, then stillness. Like breathing. An emotional dynamic that expands and contracts. Feels more natural than constant intensity. People are not captivated by perfect consistency. They are captivated by rhythm. Bruce Lee once said, "Flow in stillness, stillness in flow." When you sense her aligning with your tempo, speaking slower, responding softer, a deeper harmony is forming. The danger is not silence. The danger is breaking rhythm. Abrupt shifts fracture emotional continuity. Steady pacing creates comfort at a deeper level. 7. Restraint elevates perceived value. When your attention is not endlessly available, perception changes. Not because you become distant, but because your presence is no longer assumed. People often measure value through accessibility. What is constant becomes invisible. What is selective gains weight. Daniel Kahneman's work suggests the mind reacts more strongly to what is not instantly obtainable. Leonardo DiCaprio once said, "If you can have anything instantly, nothing feels special." When you see her investing more, longer messages, deeper emotion, recognize the subtle shift. Restraint signals choice. Choice signals value. There is no need to manufacture distance. Only avoid acting from impatience. 8. Respect emerges from self-control. When you resist reactive impulses, maintaining emotional balance, a powerful signal is transmitted. Stability. Humans instinctively respect what feels grounded. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Self-command is perceived as inner strength. Without raised voices. Without dominance displays. Just steadiness. When she reduces testing behaviors, interactional tension eases. Because stability breeds trust. And trust opens the door to respect. 9. Subtle unpredictability sustains curiosity. When you are not entirely predictable, yet internally consistent, attention remains engaged. Not from drama, but from intrigue. The brain loses interest in what is fully mapped. It stays alert to what remains partially unknown. Carl Jung once said, "The most fascinating person is the one not easily understood. If she watches you more carefully, asking deeper questions, her curiosity is intensifying." Clarity is not the enemy. Overexposure is. Attraction rarely survives where mystery completely disappears. 10. The invisible advantage. No elaborate techniques required. A man who is present, calm, comfortable with silence, disciplined in restraint, naturally shifts how others respond. Not through effort, through state. Lao Tzu wrote, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." When you notice, greater attention, deeper respect, stronger investment, there is nothing mystical. Only human psychology responding to grounded masculine presence. Because ultimately, people are not drawn to noise. They are drawn to how they feel around a man who has mastered himself. Silent Stoic closing line. Power is not in what you display, but in what you control. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Silent Stoic, where each day you become calmer, sharper, and harder to shake. Let me ask you, are you trying to impress? Or are you truly present?